for the past close to 2 years. I've been there. Total overall experience I carry is 12 plus years of experience, and by qualification, and I'm an MBA graduate with major in finance, and I also did completed CS, that is company secretary executive level. So that's about me. And this is the organization you guys must be aware of. This is Career Guidance Council. This is an NGO which is working towards bridging the gap between the academics and the MNCs in specifically, I would say. So we are a team of industry professionals from different diverse background, and who take the sessions, talk to the people, talk to the fresh graduates and experienced people, and guide them how they can pursue their career as a fresher, and the experience also for the growth. The main objective, as I mentioned already, we do reach out to the schools, intermediate and degree colleges, and we do conduct weekly programs at 2 locations in Hyderabad offline, and online what we are be a part of now, that is a online program happens mostly on the Saturdays. So make use of this forum. I would say, I would advise each one of you, and share it with your friends and your relatives, whoever needs some kind of guidance. Okay. So moving on to the topic of today, which is like a resume. So many people call it as resume. So this is not resume, this is resume. And it's a French word. You know how they like pronounce the words, right? So this is resume, and which means simply it means summary. Summary. When we say summary, it means like briefing something. So I always say this, right? There are people like any fresh graduates who would to become a graduate, at least they take like 21 years, right? Approx, I'm saying, on an average. So 21 years of age, whatever you have done, excellent job in whatever the field, academics, qualifications, sports, whatnot. So everything you need to summarize in one page. That's what I call it as a like resume. So what does it mean when we say a resume? So it's a summary of your academic life, employment history, and your skills, and what all accomplishment you have done in your personal and professional life. Uh, Everything needs marketing, right? So for every business, you need a big team of marketing initially to make or take your business to the next level. Same thing happens with your resume also. So resume creates an impression which would be there for the long time. What do I mean by that is whatever the how much talented you are, how much qualified you are, how much fluent speaker you are. But before you reach on the interview table, what reaches is your resume. So this is very important that your resume should be also equally good, uh, which should depict your all qualification, accomplishment, and has to be in proper format, so that the interviewer gets some kind of impression. Okay. So basically it is answering what can you do for me when we are talking about the interviewer. Moving on very quickly, what does resume format is? I have one basic format I have written here. That is, it would contain the header, objective section, education, honors, work experience, and the any other things apart from the projects you can put in at the last. So format, about the format, guys, there is no specific format as such when we are talking about the format. So it can be anything, but this is something which is widely used, very recommended by the experts, the HRs, I would say, and we do see this is the flow in most of the resumes, irrespective of the backgrounds. Okay. So moving on to each section, we'll move and we'll see what does it contain. Header section, very important. We used to see a lot of people used to write resume, CV, biodata, whatnot earlier. Nowadays, what we recommend as is you would be writing the name at the top of your resume. And how it should be the first line in the resume on the top where you used to write resume, if you guys remember, or you have seen any prior any set of resumes. So the first line should be your name, and that should be in bold and should be larger, like how I have like a header section here, right? It has, your name has to be highlighted in that way. So the purpose of that, why we want to keep the name on the top, and why I'm asking it to be kept as bold. The reason is when interviewer wants to talk to you, he can refer you by your name. So once he looks at your resume, he should be knowing your name. For example, somebody's name is Amir. So he should be taking the name very quickly. That the moment he catches your resume, the Amir would be written on the top, and easily he can communicate with you. Second two important things, what can be put after the name is your email address and the phone number. So email address can be put on the left side and phone number on the right side in the same line. We'll see how the resumes can be. A couple of samples I have, which I'll show you after this session, at the end of the session. So in one line, email address, you can put phone number here, left side, and email address on the right side. Either way, you can follow that. And the link to the professional profile, that's a LinkedIn. Usually people are using a large number of community, I would say, people, employers, HRs, directors, at the, like people at the top level are using LinkedIn these days. People directly applying on the LinkedIn, and people are directly following each other there. And that is like something which is happening thing in the professional world. So I would urge everyone, if you are not there on the LinkedIn so far, so to create a profile there, okay, that would be very helpful, and you can attach that link here, as simple as that. Okay, and just quick thing on the writing email ID. So don't write email ID which is like should be very funny, like crazy guy at the rate gmail.com or something. Dude, cool dude. I know we must have like prepared all those things while we were in. Looks like somebody is talking. Can you go and on mute, please? Or the host can do that. Thank you. So do not use any funky kind of email IDs. This is a professional business we are doing, professional thing we are doing here. So always create some professional email ID. Okay. If you guys got any questions during this explanation, just go ahead and use the chat box. I'll try to answer that. Okay. So moving on. This is very important section. I really want to take out some time here talking about the objective section. Objective session is very important and very highly recommended from my side to have it. So usually what we do, we usually copy the resume from our friends, and their objective becomes our objective. I would not recommend you to do that. Rather, create your own objective. I have a couple of examples mentioned here. You can take a look at that and create your own objective. You can do refer to other objective as well, and see what best you can have the on the objective section. And it should not be like very simple and straightforward, like I want to get a good job, I want so and so salary, I want to get a good job in so and so company. It should not be very like so simple. Okay. A weak example is to attain an internship in the like livestock industry. So here it is somewhat good, but again it is very short, and it is like very like too much specific. Okay. So under that, a good example, what I have written is to attain an internship in the livestock industry with the detailed insight into genomics and bioinformatics. So here what I have mentioned is the objective, the purpose I have mentioned here, like what I am looking for. I'm looking for an internship. Where I'm looking for, I'm looking into the livestock industry. And what are my specific like subjects under that? Then I have written like genomics and the bioinformatics. So such way you need to ask these questions to yourself and create your objective section. As I mentioned earlier, avoid being over specific that I want job in this particular section or particular department only. Sometimes it does make sense, but not always. So be careful. Okay. And target the company's perspective means what the company is looking for. You have to make your objective in line with that also. Because sometimes I want to do some kind of business, right? My long-term objective is I want to become a businessman. But the same thing I can't write on my resume, right? To me, it looks very flowery or very like sounding good to my ears. But the same thing I cannot write in my resume. So you need to be very diplomatic while you're writing this section of objective in your resume, and just see what the company is also looking for. Somebody is asking, can you give example of email ID? Email ID can be something you're starting with your name, and you can add your degree also, and year of pass out, something you can put it. Okay. Any questions on this, guys? You can put it in the chat box, or you want to directly ask quickly, you can ask.
Sir, can I talk with you? Just one question.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Sir, I have a different experience related questions. So I have a different two organization. I have experience. So, but the domestic organization, they can't give the experience certificate only they provide, but I get salary for the cash in hand. So what I do? The next
That
MNCs
that
company
section will
require.
talk. That section will talk. We have not touched that yet.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
yeah. Thanks. So moving on, assuming I don't have any questions, and if at all you guys have, just use the chat box. I have given some examples, guys, for your benefit. I've used Chat GPT today, and I've got some really good examples. I'm telling you, this is something which is old one. In the next slide, I have taken some examples from the Chat GPT, and you guys can also use that. So here, if you look at this objective, a highly passionate and motivated maths teacher with 5 years of experience in the teaching, and where like it is like prestigious some private school, he or she got the experience, and what he or she is looking for is the permanent teaching position in so and so school. So here the person applying is very specific that she assuming that it's a female, so she's a math teacher, expertise she has into that, and she carries 5 years of experience and in a good private school. So she has mentioned whatever she is carrying, like whatever the like her credentials are. Okay. And in the second part, in the last part, she mentioned what she is looking for. So she is looking for a permanent position there, teaching position, and at this particular school where she is applying. Okay. And next example I have, like for the finance graduate. So I'm from fund accounting background, so I've just tried that example, and this is what I have got there. So if you look at that, it says like recent finance graduate, eager to kickstart my career into private equity. So here I am very specific about starting my career into the fund accounting department. What I'm looking for, I'm looking for entry level job that allow me to use and apply my academic knowledge. And what I want to do ultimately, I want to learn the industry best practices, and I want to grow professionally. So this is very like a kind of a basic objective again, but this makes sense, or that would be very useful. This is I have taken for the somebody who is from who is a fresh software engineer. and also he or she knows about the programming, some kind of certification they have done on the programming side. Okay, and somewhat coding also. So this is one of the example, guys. This is self-explanatory. I want you to read that, and if at all something is there, we can discuss. I'm providing like 30 seconds or so for you guys to read it. Can you guys confirm me whether it looks good to you? Can you use the chat and say whether it is good, or how do you like this example? Just say yes, no, if you like it or dislike. Just mention that so that we make this session interactive. Just type
Yes, it look good.
yes. No,
It
no,
looks
just
good.
type in the chat, please. Otherwise, we all of us would be talking. So Pratibha says, what about if we have a gap and we have learned some software course and want to write an objective? Yeah, same thing applies, Pratibha. You need to write whether it is a gap or you are a fresher. You need to like say use the same logic. Okay, you need to same logic and put it. Basically, objective section will talk about your qualification and your experiences, if at all you have any, and that will create a base for your candidature in the interview. One more example, guys, for you. I know mostly we see the graduates are from IT side. So this is another for. So in this, this person is a again fresh graduate, but he knows Java programming, like basics of Java programming, and also he knows something about the Microsoft Azure. So he mentioned whatever he knows. So he knows Java programming and has somewhat experience on the Microsoft Azure. And what he's looking for some entry level position because he's a fresher, right? So what he want to do at the end of the day, he wants to like enhance his technical skills and ultimately want to become a software developer kind of a position he is looking for. Hope I'm making sense and you guys like this example as well. So over to you guys now to use the chat GPT. This is something, these last three examples I've got from the chat GPT. This is something not my expertise. I have just used some words. I have gave it to the chat GPT and it did the wonders. So at the end of this session, we'll see how best you guys can also use that. Moving on to the next slide, guys. So educational section, very important again. This is a base for any person who is applying for a job. So it should be coming from the highest to lowest. When we say that, for example, if I'm an MBA, so I would write MBA first, then I would write BCom second, then I would write intermediate and SSC or the 10th class, 10th standard thing I would write. Okay, so that has to be the flow. And once you become experienced, right, so then you can avoid writing about your schools or the intermediate level. You can just mention like your post graduation or the graduation level. You can stop because you would be having so many things to write on your resume as if experienced guy. So qualification top or the highest qualification matters at that point of time. So you can avoid the low level of thing. Now, one thing I would like to mention here, where is that? Okay, I have to mention here. So now the very important question comes here when we are writing about educational section, right? Whether to people ask whether to write the your grades or the marks or not on your resume. Yeah. So that is what we suggest people. If your grades are like something around 70 and plus 70, something around 70 or greater than 70, do mention that. Maybe you can take it as a 60 also, because 60 is considered as like first class here. So anything above 60, just do mention. If your percentage or grades are less than 60, we recommend you not to mention that. If interviewer want to ask, wants to ask, then he can do that. Then you can talk about that. So from your side, do not include that. And about the names of the school or the college or the university, also same thing goes. Also the name of the college and school. If you are from some really good college and it has a some good name into the market, then do mention that, because it will have a some good value or add value to your resume. So do mention about that. If you are done, for example, you have done your engineering from the triple IT or IIT, just do mention the exact name. And same goes with the school and college name. So it has to be the reverse order, like highest qualification first, and then you will go to the other qualifications which you have done earlier. So one of the examples you guys can see my screen is like PhD and masters, and this guy has done BTech, right? Any questions on this? Just put it in the chat box, or can some people can confirm if we are good so far? In the chat box, say yes or something, so that I know everybody is listening and taking advantage of this session. Just say yes or good. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys taking time to write that. Thank you. Next, moving on the work experience. So this is basically applicable for the people who have already started working and have some kind of working experience, right? So first thing first, we recommend here people writing whatever experience it is. Like if at all you have worked for the 6 months, doesn't matter. Still, we would urge you to recommend you to write that on your resume. People might be like surprised, like what value it would be there if I add like 6 months. So the idea of the HR or the interviewer would be like, even though it is a six months, but you have got already got the exposure how the things work at the corporate level, or how the things work at the company level. You know how the things would be there. You know the culture in the 6 months is not again short period, right? So it would be like a good amount of time where people have spent their time, they learned something, they know the culture, they know how the hierarchy would be there. When I say hierarchy, it is like what are the different levels you have in organization, and how things work, how the salary gets credited, uh, what are the different dates you need to keep in mind, how the tax gets deducted, what are the different policies, what are the trainings, how the trainings happens. You get exposure to all those things. So even it is 6 months or so, whether it's a big company, small company, don't bother about that. Do mention about that. Okay. How to mention? The thing is like how to mention that. Simply you can put your title and your title. For example, if somebody is a like manager or supervisor, team leader, or the senior analyst, so he can mention I am the senior analyst in so and so organization, Cognizant, for example, in Hyderabad city and so state. And when you have like multiple experience in multiple companies, we recommend you to write all those companies, about all those company names, and the period also, from which period to what period you have done your job, and you have made the like you have the jumps in the jobs. So do mention about the dates also, and give a brief idea about like about the kind of job you have done that. Okay. So give a always give a brief idea. Write some basic point, like what kind of job it was, what kind of job profile it was. Write about that also. Okay, hope I'm making sense here. Somebody is writing, as we can mention an MBA from Osmania University or college name. Somebody is asking whether he can mention like Osmania University as a university name or the college name. If your college is good, has a good name into the market, I would urge you to write the college name. Otherwise, Osmania University or the any university name would be a good choice there. If I have only one organization experience, so how many put rules and responsibility? Make it short, cut it short. Very good question, I would say. Do not write everything what you're doing. Cut it short and make sure that it would be maybe some 7 to 8 points maximum apart from the basic details. So 7 to 8 points, right? That summarize whatever the rights and duties you have performed there. So may try to make it like a very like summarized version, because at the end of the day, guys, always remember we need to make sure that we should try our best to get our all the things in the one page. Whether it is like experience or the freshers, we recommend people to have everything in the one page. But at least for the experienced people, I would say it can go up to two pages, two papers, I would say, but not like a so lengthy things we are writing. Because try to understand why I'm saying this. Interviewers do not have that much of time that he is reading each and every line. So you need to just summarize everything and write the crux of the experience or the qualifications you possess. How you can write? What is the next question in line? How we write for fresher? Fresher will not write. Next slides we talk about what freshers can write. I will cover that, guys. I have completed my degree from Open University, pursuing MCA from regular university, so I am applicable for MNCs. Yes, why not? MCA, you are doing MCA, then definitely you are you can apply for that. Who is that measure of? Can we mention professional experience rather than mentioning work experience? Anything. It's a choice of words. But what matters is what you're writing under that. So it doesn't matter. You can go for it. Generally, fresher used to mention wrong experiences. We do not recommend people writing fake experiences on the resume and trying for the jobs, because something, if the base of something is going with something false experience, then you can understand how the building would be. So we don't recommend people writing fake experiences and trying to do the what is meant for you, what is destined for you, that come to you guys. If you think that I will have some fake experiences, by this I can win some good jobs, then you will not be happy for sure in the coming days. So be genuine while you write your resume, while you're trying for the job. If something is in your destiny, things will fall in place. Just do hard work, and take the opportunity which is coming your way. I have accounting experience. So what are the main points I should write in the resume? Written the MCOM exam resume, but my resume, can I write MCOM in the resume? Okay, if somebody is pursuing, you can write the pursuing. If somebody is doing like in the example, somebody is asking if he's pursuing MCOM, so you can say MCOM pursuing, and just write the year when it would be like completed. Example like 2023 is running now, and your post graduation or degree would be finished this year, then you can mention that like pursuing MCOM, and in bracket you can say it would be completed in so and so year. Do they hire when we mention pursuing? Depends on the requirement and your skill set. If both of these things match, then definitely they would hire you even though you are pursuing. Mostly companies in terms of like fresher, if you're talking about, so there are many companies into the industry where they would hire people from the like final year students who are like about to finish. They do give them opportunity. So it depends on the kind of opportunity you are seeking. It would be there. Okay. So to answer the question, who have asked like what freshers can ask, I think that you give the answer here. So freshers can write about the projects they have done into during their college life, or any other project they have done outside of their academics. They can mention any research you have done. You can mention. So now the next question comes, like what kind of what details I should be writing. So I've given some a couple of pointers here. You can take this as a base. So what it starts with your project title. What was the name of the title, and what was the duration, whether it was 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is, just mention that. Project description is again very important thing. You need to write what was it all about. Do not write like too much about that. Again, just summarize it in within like couple of lines. I would say maybe some again 7 to 8 lines. Try to summarize that and make it very crisp. And what was your role in that? Like what all the things you did? Like there, if there is a group of 10 people who have combinedly did some project, so what was your role? Were you a just a, like a person who was doing a project, or you were a kind of leading the team of the people? That will definitely add some value to that. And key achievement, this is very important part of writing about the project. The key achievement, what did you achieve out of that project? For example, you guys were like working on building an Android app. Okay. Then did you, if assume that you were able to build that app, right? So do mention that under the like a key achievement. Or so and so experiments we have done, and this is the result of that experiment. You can mention that. Or for example, if somebody on the finance side has done some kind of market research, like how a stock market or the stock prices change on a day-to-day basis. Specifically, if you have done so your research work, do mention on the key achievement part. Tools and technologies used, this is mostly applicable for the IT guys. You can mention what are all the tools you have used there, like JavaScript or the HTML, .NET, whatever the technologies or the software you have used, you can mention in this section. And the last section is like about the challenges and the solutions. If you have come across any challenges there, or what are the outcome of that, you can mention that as well. Hope I'm making sense here. If you guys have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Chat box. I'm just taking a pause here for a couple of minutes, couple of seconds. Somebody is writing summarize job profile, how much point require, and any project done. So how we summarize. So Abhijit, to answer your question, like how to summarize about the project, right? So these are the points we have discussed, right? So each of these things, these are like your title and duration can come in one line. Your description should take some 7 to 8 lines, maximum 10 lines it should take. And your role and key achievement and other things, again, tools and technologies would come into the one line. And your again important section is key achievement, would take another like couple of lines, because for the freshers you don't have anything to write apart from qualifications. Then you can like your half, close to half of the page you can use for highlighting your project section. Okay, what other things still we can mention in the resume? We can discuss in the next slide. So this is mostly again applicable for the freshers, but it can be equally applicable for the experienced guys also. So this is basically talking about your leadership skills, I would say, apart from the other ones. So majorly it talks about you being a leader. So what you can mention as a fresher or the experienced people is about the internship. If you have done as a part of your project or as a part of your interest, if you have done any kind of internships, then mention that, because that will add value to your resume and your profile as well. If it is related to your subject or your technology you want to work in, then that will be really beneficial for you. If at all you have learned any foreign languages like French, German, Arabic these days, Latin, these Chinese these days, again, these are in high demand. So if you have learned by out of your interest or in your present company because of some sort of project, do mention that as well, because there can be some big opportunities would come which require this particular language, then you would be the person who would be having like upper hand there. Volunteering experience, this is again very important and add value to your resume, because this is, see, what the activities I'm doing right now, it's a part of my volunteering activity, right? I'm the volunteer of Career Guidance Council team, and which is an NGO. So this is adding value to me. So what interviewer or the HR would get when I write the term volunteering? So I'm taking a session. So this is one of the skills I built being a part of this team. I know like how to deal with the people, because there are other volunteers also I have to talk to. I know about the time management. I am a good team player, right? Because when I'm part of NGO, I have to interact with different people. When I lead some project, I get some leadership skills also. So there are a lot of things back at the back end when we are writing. I have volunteering experience. Then there are a lot of things at the background which are like calculated and have some kind of weightage in the eyes of the HR or the your prospective employer. So do mention that if you are a part of any NGO or society or the trust, and you are doing some kind of free services, then do mention that as well. Any leadership role, for example, in your college days or in the your existing company, you are a part of leading some events, or while in college you have done some projects or the events, or you are part of some clubs also we have, right? Educational clubs you have in your colleges. If you are a part of that and you have done some leadership role there, then do mention that also. It talks about your various skills again. Next thing is professional certificates on licenses. Do mention, guys, that also. Everything, whatever like professionally or educational side, academically, if you have done, do mention everything. Don't think that whether it will add value or not. As long as this is something which is a part of your learning and part of your academics or the part of your professional career, then do mention about that. Like one example could be, even though assume that you are I'm an IT graduate, fresh graduate, but I have done some course in the language, like I have English, in English language I have certain certification from like British Council. So I should mention here, because it talks about my communication skills. Because in MNCs, in specific, if you are talking about, then what it takes, like on the top, you have always the communication is at the top, because you need to deal with the clients who are sitting like we don't know which part of the globe they are sitting, and mostly the common language we use is the English. So in that case, that would be really beneficial. Language or computer skills. Language we have covered. Computer skills, whatever you know or done any courses, diplomas, certifications, or any courses, do mention about that. If you have done SAP, Oracle, Java, whatever it is, any course you have done into the computers, do mention there. Publications and the blogs, yeah, if you have published some thesis or something, and you are a person who is very good at writing the blogs or the uh, writing the books or the presenting papers, do mention all those things. Those will certainly add value to your resume and your profile. Competitions and awards, do not restrict or think that only academic things would help you get the job, but something having in sports or any games, you have achieved something, you can mention that as well. For example, if you have during the your college or school days, you are a part of some football club or the cricket club, and you have spent good time and you have certification or some accomplishment from those games, then you can mention that as well. So what does it take? Like I'm talking about cricket, then you might be thinking like how the cricket can be uh, matched to my profile or will add value. So when you are playing cricket or any game where you have a lot of people, right? Then your team bonding skills or the teamwork will be depicted. So you should be knowing when you put it such accomplishment related to your sport, it talks about you being a team player. If you had been a captain of your team, then you can mention that as well. It will add value. And to play any game, it requires some mental ability also, I would say. So all in all, there is some benefit writing about your sports or any competition or the awards, essay writing, something. So one idea here I want to give you guys, whenever you want to write your resume, being a fresher or experience, take a piece of paper, okay? Take a piece of paper and start writing, or just go back uh, to your like school days. Start from your school days and think that what are your accomplishment had been. So write it down, everything, each and everything was first write it down. Then you can later like summarize or give the priority to the points. If you assume that you have many points on your plate, then you can decide which is like more beneficial for your career or for your profile. Then do keep that, and you can remove the other ones. And believe me, my personal experience and other my experienced folk or the other volunteers would certainly agree with me that when you start writing, right, when you take a paper and start writing your achievements or your the skills what you have gathered so far, then definitely you will be surprised that there will be a lot of things which would come to your mind. So take the summary of all those things and put the best on your resume. Professional development, it would include any workshop you guys have attended, any seminars, conferences you have attended. You can mention about that also. So CGC, Career Guidance Council, our NGO, organizes many such sessions on personality development. Okay, on using any technologies. So all kind of those kind of sessions you can mention on your resume if you think that would add value. For example, there was a session for like knowing about the javascript and how it works. Then you can mention that as a fresher, you can mention that. So what does it talks is you have attended some seminar from the experts and you must have learned something. So that message will go to the your HR or the interviewer. Okay, any questions? If you guys have, you can mention in the chat. I can take it. Is it compulsory to write hobbies? It is not recommended. If you have place, you can write Tawfiq. If it is if you have a place on your resume, you can write it. And hobbies also should be in such a way that would add value to your resume or profile. It should not be you're writing a hobby like dancing is, if dancing is your hobby, we don't recommend people write dancing, because the dancing will not add any value to your profile. That is something that is a kind of a skill which will not be used to perform any kind of job. People might disagree on that, but this is what we recommend. So write something which is hobbies which are like reading books. Okay, that kind of hobby, surfing the some reading the blogs, and any kind of blogging you do mention such kind of things which would add value to your resume and profile. And that is not compulsory. Again, if you have space, you can add. How many pages? For freshers, it is 1 page. Khalil, that's the answer. Just 1 page would be enough. And if at all you have a lot of achievement, a lot of credentials to mention and write, you can go for the 2 pages. But for the freshers, ideally, it should be only 1 page or one paper, I would say. Organize sports event, that one also we can mention. Yes, organize whatever event you have been a part of as a member or as a lead. You have participated in any inter college, intra college, at the university level. If you have been a part of that, you can go ahead and mention that, Abhijit. I'm a fresher, so SAP good for job purpose. So this is not relevant question at this moment. Okay, assuming there are no further questions, are we good so far? Can you guys put it in the chat so I know you guys are listening, not just available here? And just write in the chat, say yes or good. No one? Am I audible, guys? Can someone confirm?
Yes, Sami bhai. Are you not able to see the chat?
Okay, okay.
They are writing on the chat, right?
Okay, okay. Maybe there is not updated. Let me check. Okay, they are sending direct message, I think. You can do it publicly, guys. I think you
No,
are
I
sending direct.
restricted actually. I restricted like
Okay, okay,
they
okay,
can
okay.
chat only with host co-host. You are co-host actually. You should be able to see, right?
Okay, 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 okay. I can see it now. Okay, thank you guys. Can
No.
we write gardening? Yes, Pratibha, you can write. Gardening is also something has to be a skilled job, I would say. Not everybody can do that. It requires some kind of skills to maintain that. So yes, you can. What is SAP? What is SAP? SAP is a different course. Okay. Okay, moving on. These are the couple of do's or the couple of things we need to keep in mind, positive things I would say, which we have to do while writing a resume. Throughout the resume, we have to make sure that we maintain professionalism. When I say professionalism, it's about the language we are using. It should not be saying always, I want this, I have done this, I. It should not be only I, right? Try like avoiding using such words. Just say, uh, tell it in a subtle way where you avoid using such like I kind of things, and maintain the consistency in your language also. And one page, and do not use any kind of bad or the negative words, I would say, in your resume. Only one page I've just mentioned already. So one page, stick to one page. If at all, for the experienced people, I would say they can go for the 2 pages. But yeah, for the freshers, they can stick. But that is not the general rule, guys. It can be 2 pages also, but that is highly recommendation. That's it. Stick to the truth. So whatever you're writing on your resume, make sure that you're writing what you have done and what you are aware of, and also what you can answer. People we have seen, I take interviews on a regular basis, and I see that people write whatever is there in their friend's resume, or they are copying from somewhere, and when we ask them, they are unable to answer. That would be very humiliating situation, guys, when you are sitting on the interview table and you don't know what is there on your resume. And sometimes people ask us, oh, is it there in my resume? They ask us back. We have to tell them, yes, it is there on your resume. Then they would say they don't know. Okay, so avoid that and stick to the what is truth, and do not keep your base on the false facts. Focus on achievements and results. We have just mentioned. Highlight the results which are of very significant in nature, so that will catch the eyes of the so that it would catch eyes of the interviewer. Highlight that. If you have couple of achievement you are writing, make sure that on the top you are writing which is of high importance and which is very relevant to the profile and the job you are applying for. Maintain a consistent writing style So there are a couple of people, right? This is a looks very small thing, guys, but it will have a very big impact, I would say. I have seen on the resume people like using different fonts. Somewhere it's like Calibri they use somewhere, and no funky kind of fonts. Just maintain some. You can use some of those are like Times New Roman is there, Arial is there, Calibri is there. You can use these fonts, maybe 10 to 11 size. You can mention, and if you are using one font, make sure that you are consistent in using it throughout your resume. Avoid use this we have already discussed. I and mine. This talks about your attitude in the language of HR, I would say. So try to avoid as much as possible. Modify your resume according to the requirement. This is very important point, guys. Where what we are trying to say is there can be scenarios for somebody. Assume that there is a fresh graduate who has done engineering and looking for job in some good technology like Java kind of technology. Okay, but the situation is he is in dire need of money and there are market is very stagnant. There are no jobs out, and he wants to go for like kind of voice customer care kind of job for time being. So in that case, my resume should not highlighting the points which are like more on the technical side, more on the Java related stuff. Rather, it should talk about the more of a my skill set into my communication, right? My communication things I would be highlighting. So uh, if I have to tell you, the fact is you can have the multiple resume, multiple versions of your resume. You can have 1, 2, 3 resume. The first one would be your subject related, your Java related stuff would be there. That is one resume where you highlight all such skills. In the second resume, which is related to your like voice kind of process, IT recruiter kind of jobs you have, then you will put more emphasis or the focus on the communication side. So that is my second version. Then I can have another version based on the company's requirement or the companies where I am trying to apply. Based on that, my things would definitely or can be changed. Okay. Next. Use easy to read language. People think that using tough language or flowery words would have great impact on the interviewer. No, that's not a fact. Rather, try to use very lucid or very simple language which should convey what you're trying to say. As simple as that. Okay. Get grammar and punctuation correct. Proofreading, that is what we call, right? This is something, guys, if I'm the interviewer, then I will give some good points to this thing. Grammatically, you have to be right. I've seen cases where people write the spellings which are like utterly very wrong, and they are not bothered about that. This talks about how serious we are about the job. Okay, for me it is how serious you are about this job. So how to do that? If you are using like a Word format, if you are creating resume in the Word format, there is one option. Once you click, I think if I'm not wrong, it is F7 is the option which would give me all the grammatical mistakes or any punctuation if I'm missing. That will it will highlight and it would say, boss, these are the things which are not correct, you can correct it. And that is get corrected with the any expert also, any working professionals into the industry, right? So get it corrected from them as well. That is called the proofreading. Do not be overconfident. I know as a fresher, sometimes we tend to do that. We think what we have done so far is like very correct kind of, but do take advice. We already have made mistakes, lot of mistakes. So learn from, take advantage of that. Do not try to make the same mistake. And there are a lot of apps these days, a lot of websites are there where you get the things corrected. Grammarly is one of the website where you can put your sentence and it will tell you what are the mistakes you have. And that is basic version is available for free. You can try that out. Follow the instructions. Again, whatever we have discussed, you need to like follow and have the flow. Okay, flow of the keep in mind while you're writing a resume, the flow has to be correct, and instructions what we discuss has to be in the particular order. Spell check we have already discussed. Update your resume regularly. For example, you are applying on the LinkedIn or the Naukri.com or any job portal. Make sure that you are keep changing or updating your resume. For example, if you have done some certifications and your resume is still old, make sure that you are changing changing it on a regular basis as and when required. Any questions on this so far before we move to the don'ts? So I have got a couple of questions. I'll just quickly take a look at that. If it is relevant, I can. How many hobbies should I add? Already I added hobbies. It's good to add interest also. Hobbies you can write depending on the space you have on the page. So depending on that and relevance to the profile, you can write maybe 3 to 4 max. How can I mention backlog in resume? I'm a fresher. No need to mention about your backlog in resume. Let the interviewer ask you. You just mention the year of passing in the resume. If he has to ask, he would ask. Okay, Riaz has mentioned about the formal attire. Yes, very important. One of the do's is like when you go for the interview, you also need to take care of your resume and yourself also. Okay, you need to carry in a very formal attire. I have technical skill certification, but do not have experience of those. But experienced candidate, how can I search job skill certification, but not hands-on experience? So the question here is, this person has a skill set and certification, but do not have the experience. I have worked for 6 companies. How many companies I can mention in the CV? If you have mentioned in the 6 companies and if you have experience letters from all the companies, then do mention where you need to do mention all. Where you need to cut out is for writing the description or the your jobs and job roles and responsibilities. There you need to make sure that you are cutting it short, but do mention about that. And if you have only certification and not on the experience, then do mention your expertise level on that. There can be 3, right? One is like basic, second intermediate level, and third is your advanced level. So just gauge yourself and see what level you stand, and based on that, mention like Excel, for example. So I possess like medium level of proficiency in Excel, and do mention what all you know in the Microsoft Excel, what all options you can perform. How is it possible for us to update your resume for every job title? It's about the creating different resumes versions, and based on the need you can apply. Based on the need of the job, you can use that resume. Okay. Now we'll quickly look at the don'ts. I know we have passed the time. I'll quickly try to finish that. What we do not have to do. So far we have seen what we have to do. Now we'll see what we don't have to do. So no photocopy. When I say photocopy, it's like a Xerox. Don't take Xerox copy. Sometimes it get blur or black. So do not do that. Rather take a print. Take a print. I would recommend personally people to take the print on the some paper. What do we call that? Some it would be somewhat thick, right? Legal paper, I think. Legal paper we call it as. If it would cost you around 5 to 10 rupees hardly, but the kind of impression you are giving to the employer would be really good. No capital letters, you know, right? In English language, if you are using capital letters, it means you are shouting. So be aware of that and avoid writing the capital letters in the resume. Personal information, do not write personal information that I have 6 siblings, 2 brothers, 5 sisters, whatever it is. Okay, do not write about that. Do not write about your father's professions also. Father name also, it is not required. Basically, that last section, right? People used to write personal details. That is totally not required. People write Indian, religion, marital status, I don't know, color, height, whatever, sex also, like male or female. And when people uh, take resume from their friends, if it is a female friend, people do not change sometime. They just keep female itself in the resume. So avoid that. You can avoid all these things which I have talked about, right? Because you are applying, you are Indian. These things would be applicable, like where you are applying for, right? If you are applying for abroad, then you can mention your nationality. But if you are applying within the India, then nationality and other stuff what we have talked about, that is all you can avoid. Misleading information, do not like overwrite on the resume. Just allow me a minute, guys. Just be online. Sorry. So no misleading information which can cause confusion. Do not write about that also. And any unrelated information. Talking about your skills about like you're a bike racer, or you have a habit of traveling long, and all those things you can. This is like something which is like unrelated information. And last point is height, weight, place. They are not bothered about that. What employer is looking for, they are looking for your skill set, your qualification, and how well you can perform the job responsibilities. Fancy font we discuss. Sometimes this, because this is not the invitation card where we are using borders, flowery borders, also using fancy fonts. That is not recommended. Just go by very simple way. You can add tables if you want, and no to the like fancy or something borders. Do not fold your resume. Do not stuff into envelope. Usually what happens is it would be 1 or 2 pages, and people like fold it, and when it reaches in the hands of like interviewer or the HR, then it would be very crumpy, right? Very crumpy it would be. So just avoid that. Rather, just take there is one folders are available, right, for a cost of 15-20 rupees. Use those folders where you can keep it very nicely and neat, and hand it over when the interviewer when you go to the interview room. So a couple of examples, guys, here for you. Before that, I'll see if I have any relevant question to take. I'll do that. Project paper for print. Can we fake internship detail as local company? No to the fake internships, as I mentioned earlier also. No to the fake internship. Can you please share your opinion if we can opt resume writing services of Naukri.com or LinkedIn? You can do that, but rather than, I would say, first use once try to use the chat GPT. I hope you would be surprised to see the results that will do the job for you. Just keep on writing there whatever you're looking for. It will give you almost all the resume. So try that. And but if still you think that you want to take the services, you can. So this is the example of bad resume where is everything is like dumped in and looks very clumsy, very hard to find out the information for the employer. This is again, this is something which is not legible. Everything is blurred there. So this is also not recommended. Okay, this is again the example. These are the basically two resumes if you look at that. So these are the latest kind of resume people are using these days. And if you look at that, he has given lot of information, and everything is in one page. So along with the experience and skills, work skills, education, achievement, everything, if he can write in one page, then we have to think about ourselves. We also should be able to write. But writing this kind of resume, where like half portion of using for something and half something, it requires some different skills you need to learn, or you have to get it done from any of your friends who knows it. But that is possible. The point here is one page, having the resume on one page is still possible. So this is like one of the like basic sample resume, very basic, I would say, where it's talking about the like name and addresses and phone number is given and career objective and the qualification is given here. Okay, and professional qualification is given here and other things stuff. So this is for you guys to take a look at that. And it is again one page if you are having a proper look. This is also one of the resumes. Lot of information again and well put. But again, this requires additional skills to create such resume. This resume, this kind of resume where things are dark in color, this would be good while you're sending it online, because when you are going for offline, the print would not be a proper here. So make sure you are checking such things in advance. It will come in like if you're taking black and white print, then it would be come in like very different altogether. So make sure that in advance you are taking the print and seeing how it looks in the actual. Yeah, that's it. I am have come to the end of the session. I hope this session was useful. Couple of photo. I don't recommend photo because in example it was there, so I have used that. But I don't recommend having a photo on your resume. But there are certain jobs like abroad when you're trying for Gulf or the US Canada side, then they might require the photo. But while you're applying within India, I don't recommend having a photo. Can you share us samples? Somebody's asked, Pratibha is asking. So Pratibha, to answer your question, uh, I would be sharing one number here where you guys can reach out and ask for resume samples, or we do have jobs group, okay, where we try to authenticate jobs as much as possible and share it on a daily basis. So if at all you guys are still not a part of the job groups yet, I would recommend, highly recommend people to get added to our jobs group using this number. Just send a message with your name, qualification, and if at all you have experience, do mention that, and just a request to get added in the groups. So for offline sessions, this is running at two places. One is at 10 o'clock tomorrow is also there. Advanced Skill Development Center, which is like near Shalibanda, Hyderabad. You can go and attend that. And all these programs information also come on those groups, WhatsApp group. You can make utilize of these sessions and make yourself equipped and get a good job. Can you rate my resume? I will share. So anybody looking for their resume correction, I would recommend them to come here at this venue, right? And just for your information, guys, next Sunday on I don't remember the date. It's the 10th, I believe. We are conducting mock interviews, guys. So if at all you are really interested, enthusiast, and want to check where do you stand, then do walk in at this address. We are conducting that, and we do have some prizes also for the top 5 people who give some good interview, come up with a good resume. They would be like winning Amazon voucher of 1,000 each. So do come and try your hand and test your skills or the experience the interview. So experts from the various industry, various backgrounds would be available on that particular day. to take advantage of that. So I'm allowing you guys to take a look at the number, and if at all you have any more questions, keep attending our sessions, get added to our groups, then you will have the information. And all the best for your career, guys. Just I would like to see if you guys have liked this session. Share your feedbacks very quickly in the chat. Shoaib, if you can change the setting to look at all. Meanwhile, you guys can take down that number which is given there on the screen, and do message there, get added, and get your resumes corrected. Okay. And I wish on behalf of the whole career guidance team, all the best for you guys in your career or whatever you do in your life. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining the session. Shoaib, over to you. Thank you guys and have a good day. Thank you.
Jazakallah, sir.
Thank you.